Yeah, thank you guys for coming and speaking today. I'm Fry, and I've been going to these events for a while. And before I ask my question, just wanted to say I'm primarily an Ethereum maximalist. Even though I've messed around on other chains, for the most part, I always come back to Ethereum. Can't really give up on it. So if my question seems a bit harsh, I just wanted to start by framing that in this way so you wouldn't think I was just being an Ethereum hater. With the future bringing potential existential threats to blockchain, we're starting to see serious media outlets come out and say things like quantum computing, AI could break blockchain, and all these different types of existential threats. To me, it feels like the ability to solve problems, especially simple ones like this that have taxed users nearly $2 billion during the lifetime of Ethereum. It seems like being able to solve those problems is particularly important. So my question is, why has it taken so long for this solution to be implemented? And it seems like it's just such a great fix to something that's been taxing users for such a long time.
I think very good question. Yeah, I think it's, and I think there's many reasons, and maybe we're overstating a bit how simple it is. So I think it does require relatively extensive protocol changes for this to work, to both the consensus and the execution client, and also I would say one big criticism people definitely can have is that none of the encryption technologies is perfect in this regard. So the threshold encryption, you have this trust assumption where you still need to trust that X percentage of the nodes are honest. TEEs, as Loring said, you have this hardware trust assumption, so you need to trust sort of like Intel or whoever, that they don't have a backdoor, and also you have this hardware requirement on nodes that would have to run this specialized hardware that has this TEE or SGX or compatibility. So I think that's a valid criticism, and where maybe some people would say, let's wait a little longer even for us to have the perfect kind of matured cryptography, so that it's like kind of like fully end-to-end safe and yeah. But yeah, I think the reasons are kind of like coordination, awareness. Maybe one thing that has slowed it down is actually private mempools, right? Because the without private mempools, the problem would be a lot more obvious, and people would get front run left and right. Yeah. So you'd see the graph, and the front running is going down. So people would say, great, so we saw front running, right? So that's a little bit of a misconception, I would say, because again, we saw front running by introducing strong trust assumptions, and maybe even introducing a censorship vector, right? Because now you have these private mempools where they can not just run, but they could also now censor your transactions. So I would say private mempools might even have slowed down this track. But yeah, the general answer: different factors, complexity, awareness. But yeah, great question.